Anin bojo, sego, tanse, kwe, kinawea. Greetings, my relatives. I've been asked to explain the usage of tobacco and traditional tobacco. What is it? Why it's important. So it's my hope today to cover some of the ways I've learned about this sacred medicine and how it's used in particular in Anishinaabe communities, because that's the community that I come from and belong to. And of course, the teachings I'm responsible for. And one of the basic beliefs about tobacco is that you must hold a good mind or attitude when working with this medicine. So I've laid out a variety of tobaccos here for you today. And I want you to know that many Indigenous communities across our vast island, Turtle Island, carry sacred ancestral practices and beliefs about tobacco. And one of the commonalities with all these nations is it has both a cultural and spiritual importance. So, my suggestion to you is perhaps to go to a local knowledge keeper, ceremonial practitioner, or relative within your own community to learn more specific details. And I also encourage you to learn what it's called in your language. In Anishinaabe in the Anishinaabe language, Sema is the word we use. And tobacco and or other plant mixtures that are grown or harvested are used by Indigenous people, all the various nations across Turtle Island, for ceremonial and or medicinal purposes. And it's believed that the smoke itself carries thoughts or prayers to the spirit world and out to all of creation and the creator. Traditional tobacco is considered a sacred medicine, so you're looking at sacred medicine right here. It's one of four sacred medicines according to our medicine wheel teachings, and it can be used in various ways to promote physical, spiritual, emotional, and community well being. Learning how to address tobacco as a sacred being was one of my very first lessons, and to do it in a good way. So saying Sema is acknowledging the life force of this being and the sacredness of this being. I'd be interested in learning what you call tobacco in your community and in your language, and perhaps sharing how it's used. Protocols around the usage vary greatly from community to community and region to region, but a commonality that I have found that seems to be quite universal is that this particular plant is considered sacred and very important across the world. I was taught that if you're going to use traditional medicines, you have a responsibility connected to that. You need to learn how to grow this, how to harvest it, how to take care of it, and of course, how to share in a good way. So I'm hoping that you'll be inspired as a result of this video today and begin to learn what your relationship is with tobacco and perhaps even how to grow it. I'm still learning today, and I feel so grateful for this knowledge and ancestral belief systems that I've spent time learning over the last 3 decades. I'm gonna show you the different types of tobacco I have here. So here's the most common type of tobacco that people are exposed to in cigarettes. This is commercial tobacco, and we know that it's laced with chemicals. It comes with all kinds of warnings, and people use it for a variety of reasons commercially. But in our traditional ceremonies, in our traditional customs, we have different types of tobacco that we use in different ways. And so, what I have here today is an example of a South American way. I've been given tobacco in cigar form on many occasions and asked to sing and or pray. And it's common for them to smoke these cigarettes and to also burn them whole in the same way we do in our sacred fires. I also have some traditional tobacco here, and this is actually dried leaves, and if you look carefully you can see that it's a dried up leaf. And this is plants that I have grown and gathered the leaves and put them in a nice dry dark place to dry out completely, and then sometimes they're crushed up, and when they're crushed up they can look like this. Can be very green, can be very brown, depends on the type. And they're oftentimes used for tobacco ties, and that's what this is here. It's a square fabric, and the four corners are brought together. You shake it down, You give it a twist and you tie it. And then you have what's known as a tobacco tie. And these are gifted on many occasions for a wide variety of reasons. Perhaps to ask for some teachings, or to give thanks for teachings that were received, to perhaps approach one of the other sentient beings that shares the planet with us and ask for some of their body. Can be used in ceremony for prayers, and can be offered to those that perhaps are struggling with loss. Again, filled with your prayers. So they can use in a wide variety of ways. I'm not offering a prescription for this, simply giving some exposure and encouragement to how tobacco ties are used. And one of the ways that you can have access to it is, of course, by growing it. I have here, this is pipe tobacco, and pipe tobacco comes in pouches like this. And these pouches, and I don't want to promote any particular brand, are they're used in pipes, and pipes are one of the ceremonial tools. Powagin is what a pipe is called in Anishinaabe, that we would put tobacco in and actually smoke it sometimes for, again, a wide variety of reasons. And this is a good alternative to commercial tobacco if you're looking to create an offering. Natural tobacco is always best, and this is natural tobacco. However you secure your tobacco, it can come in different ways. And if you do grow tobacco, these are tobacco seeds. And that's when you let the flower go to seed. So you don't actually harvest the entire plant, and you get these little wee seeds. And there's a wide variety of seeds here, different shapes, because they're different types of tobacco. And when you get one of these, the outside falls away after it dries, and the inside provides us with these little wee tiny seeds. I can't even get them out, they're so small. And I'll try another one. Oh, there's some here. So as you can see, they're very, very, very small. So you get hundreds of seeds in just one little tobacco pod. And so you'd have lots of tobacco seeds to grow for subsequent seasons and to share with others. I sincerely hope that this has inspired you to learn a little bit about tobacco, and perhaps to engage with this beautiful sacred medicine that sits, it says, in the eastern doorway. The yellow portion of the medicine wheel for us is Anishinaabe, and it's one of the first medicines given to us by Creator. So if you've never grown tobacco, or maybe you never knew you could, maybe you will try it this year. I encourage you to. And be sure to harvest the pods at the end of your growing season to share with others, and encourage them to develop a heartfelt connection to our sacred medicine, Sema, that beautiful tobacco. Balmampi, Kinawea. Till next time, my relatives, miigwech.